Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode 111. This is your host, Billy, the Pert Near Outdoors podcast. And had a quick hitter this week. I was planning on doing a solo podcast. Ended up jumping on for a kind of a priority podcast with Jim Dagostino. He and I were chatting on the phone, and I said, hey, you just want to jump on and record something quick about stuff you need to be thinking about in July to make sure you're ready for September, October, and into the latter half of the fall. So fun little quick chat here with Jim. Hit on a bunch of things that people should be thinking about and doing right now to make sure you're prepared for hunting season. So quick chat there, fun stuff. Quick events update, things that are coming up the pipe that you need to be aware of that we're working on. This week, Wednesday the 14th, we'll be doing a Facebook Live fall food plot Q&A discussion with John Teeter of Whitetail Landscapes and Ben Williams of Old Tin Cup Habitat Restoration. Those two guys have done some stuff with us before. We did one back in the winter. Had a really good time with that. So this will be like a live podcast. If you have any questions, things that you'd like to have answered, if you could send us those questions before, that would be great. So just send them over wherever you communicate with us, whether it's through Instagram, Facebook, or just sending us text messages. Let us know, or you can hop on and drop your questions live. We're going to try to keep it to just an hour. If there's any questions we don't answer, I'll get John and Ben on, and we'll just do a podcast to hammer out any of those questions and get them answered. We'll just kind of keep this in podcast form. The last time we did it, it went long. It was like 2 hours, and then we ended up having almost another 2 hours just to clean up on things that we did not hit on. So really enjoy these discussions, enjoy that stuff with those guys and engaging everybody out there. So it is that time, and it's a great time to discuss it because as we approach the end of July, beginning of August, you want to be getting that fall food plot stuff done and in the ground so August can really get it cooking, if you know what I'm saying. So we got that. We had a meeting, or kind of an impromptu meeting this week with the folks over at Windy Brew. Met with Russ and Bill and Michelle and kind of hammered out some details about the event. So I think we've got some great things lined up there. We're looking at doing some raffles. So we're trying to put together a bunch of trying to do like a Chinese auction style. So trying to put some baskets together. So if there's anybody listening that has any sort of a company that you'd like to, like whether it's advertising your company, if you have any giveaway stuff, or you want to make a wine basket or a liquor basket, if you have T-shirts, apparel, whatever. If you'd be interested in jumping in on that, let me know. I've got some people that I'm reaching out to see if they'd be interested. I've got some takers. I'm thinking we're going to do something with the Huntworks and have either a tree stand that would be part of that, or maybe that would be a raffle item. And we're also floating the idea around about a gun, raffling off a gun. So I've got that in the works, kind of feeling the waters on that to see what that looks like, and possibly even a cornhole tournament during the event to be like the main fundraiser of the event, and the winner potentially win a grand prize. So that's kind of what we're thinking there. But stay tuned on that. That event, again, to remind everybody, is going to be August 22nd. We're going to be rolling the beer out, having a good time, raising some money for the National Deer Association and the Venison Donation Coalition, and really want to make this a big deal. The last time was awesome. We want to make this one even better. Bill and Michelle are really excited. They've expanded the brewery. They've got a whole new brew system that they're setting up right now that I don't think we're going to be able to use because we're brewing next week and it's not quite ready. But everything will be set up for everybody to see when they come to the event, to see their expansion and their growth. And they've got a pretty cool beer garden set up out back, more room there. So just all around cool stuff. Fun to see them growing and building their brewery and their system up even larger. So cool stuff there. That's that event. The Tethered Teach and Train, August 14th, is on the radar. So if you're not signed up for that, head over. It's posted all over the place, whether it's on Tethered's website. We've posted links for it on our Facebook page. Just head over, sign up. It's a free event. They just want to have a head count so they know how much food to provide. So do that. Trying to think of what else, if there's anything. Jim and I hammered through it. I don't want to belabor the intro too much. I just wanted to hit on those dates. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting, but let's get on with the show and hear what Jimbo and I had to talk about. Jim Dagostino, that is. Do it for PA Jim. Hashtag Mr. Keystone Precision Archery. So here's me and Jim. Hope you enjoy the chat. Hope you have a great week. Enjoy that weather. Get out there and have some fun. Keep fading them.
Hello.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
name.
Squirrel's got me.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
That's good that you think that of it, because that's what deer hunting typically is cold and fun.
Yesterday morning, I'm glassing up on the pass and I see these deer moving. And I'm like, ooh, there's some deer moving. All of a sudden, I just see this person just head down, just hauling ass, wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a pack on. And I'm like, is that Tard? My dad always talks about floating through the woods like the autumn breeze.
So Robert's
When you're
the ghost, and
275
that's Tard.
pounds, I don't know how you do that, but
The Freightliner. It's just like a creeper. You're just kind of up in the corner watching what's going on down there.
yeah.
You know,
He's like,
he's up there slapping, pissing all over everything.
is it warm yet?
How did you know the name of the actor?
That's right. I know.
Why did you say his name?
Hervé Villagers.
You know what pert near means.
If you know what pert near means and you live in America, you're a redneck too.
Welcome to the Log Talk Podcast, brought to you by Pert Near Outdoors. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, Jim, this is a complete impromptu discussion, and we're both living. Ooh, wow! What is that? Is that a seltzer?
This is a seltzer in honor of Bill Harvey.
No laws when you're drinking White Claws.
Right.
All right. So here's the deal. It's a Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Jimbo called me to confirm the area of Pennsylvania where we're hunting this fall for rifle. And I tell you that I'm just put the kids down for a nap and I'm going to get some stuff done. I was going to record a quick podcast. I did not have anything I did have a podcast planned this week, but it got canceled. So I was just going to throw together a few things like stuff you should be thinking about right now as July is starting to get away from us. Every week at this point counts. So ironically, you called me up to ask me that question. I said, hey, you want to shoot the shit for a few minutes? So here we are. You just put the little guy down for a nap as well, I understand.
Yep.
This is what dad life looks like for anybody that does not have kids. You literally just get maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours in a full day to do anything for yourself on the weekend. So here we are. So let's I think we both agree that we want to probably keep this short. Let's be like 30 minutes. I'm going to watch the clock, but let's just ram through some stuff like right now that everybody out there, especially we're talking primarily people that are hunting New York and Pennsylvania because that's what we're familiar with, but people outside of our areas, I'm sure it's similar as far as time to be putting in for Doe tags, buying licenses, things of that nature. So let's just dive right into Pennsylvania Doe tags. I'm somewhat familiar because I've put in for them a few times, but you're a Pennsylvania native. Let's kind of run through that. Let it rip. Let's talk about what do you got to do.
Yeah.
The deadline's approaching.
So the date that everyone needs to keep in their mind for residents is this Monday, July 12th. All resident Doe tags need to be in the mail July 12th. The big key things that you need to remember is putting down the county in which you would like to, or you're asking to hunt in, or you're applying for. That's the county that you need to write on your envelope. That's super key. That's what sparked the conversation for me to call you, because there are multiple counties in each WMU, and you need to be specific in the county in which you're going to be hunting. So that's project number one. Number two is to make sure that you fill out the return addresses in both places correctly. Otherwise, you're not going to get your tag back. It's going to just sit in limbo somewhere, and they're going to cash your check. And the third thing is to make sure that you fill out your check, and you also write the check number on your application. And those are the three biggest things I could tell anybody to do as far as PA residents goes. And I'm assuming it's the same thing for non-residents.
Yeah. And so in past years, I feel like they've sent, if you were a license holder the year before of any sort in Pennsylvania, a deer license, that they would send you a package in the mail that had Doe Tag application package, correct?
Yeah. So when we go to purchase our license, they give us that booklet, and on that big long string of licenses, there's an application on there, but also in the booklet they give you, there's like a little card that you could pull out, and you could fill that out as well. Both work just the same.
Okay. So that's probably why I haven't received mine yet, because I have not purchased my Pennsylvania license yet.
Yep.
Okay. So I know in past years I was a little bit late, because a lot of times we'll just buy our tags when we go down there. But if you do want to put in for a Doe Tag, you do need to do it this time, middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a couple of years ago. I all of a sudden realized I didn't have the applications. I didn't have the envelopes to send that filled out envelope in with your prepaid check. So if you do get the tag, they cash your check. I did reach out to the county. I don't know if I reached out to the county. I think you could probably do either. You could reach out to the county office in Pennsylvania where you're looking to go, or you could just call the Department of Wildlife Management, or whatever the hell you guys call it down there. Sorry for not knowing exactly what you guys call it, but
I don't even know.
Pennsylvania Game Commission. So you could call the Game Commission and tell them your situation. And I believe that the year I did that, they sent me in the mail, priority mail. So I got it the next day. They sent me a bunch of envelopes. And I believe you just need to have the envelope post mail dated, stamped, whatever, for at least by the date that they're due by, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So
and what I was saying to you earlier when I called you was that for residents, the first round is a little bit tricky. You kind of have to play that game where you can't put it in the mail too early. And then you won't get it. If you put it in too late, obviously you're not going to get it. It's that fine line where it needs to be in the mail the day of, in most cases, the day of, to get your best chances of getting it, because they want it when they pull all the, you figure hundreds of thousands of these things are going to show up at the various offices, and they want that stack to be right on top. So it goes right to the actual people, because there are physical people that sit there in the offices and go through them one at a time. And they just, whatever's easiest for them is what they want. So.
Yeah. Okay. And Doe tags are a great thing to have, people. If you're going to go down to Pennsylvania to hunt at all, and you're an out-of-stater, you get one buck tag. And I've done this a couple times. I've been fortunate to shoot a buck on the first morning. And luckily I had a Doe tag that I could use so that I could keep hunting for the rest of that, basically almost 3 days that I had left to hunt. So if you're interested, jump on that now, because time is of the essence as we speak. So, all right. So that's, I guess, kind of tag side of it. Elk applications are open. So that's something else that people should get in on very, very soon here if they're interested in Pennsylvania. It's a great opportunity. It's a very small minority of people are fortunate enough to draw the tags, but there's growing opportunity. There seems like they're giving more and more tags each year. So
the Game Commission actually makes it really easy. You could apply up to three separate, I don't know what you call it. Like, there's archery, both sex, and then there will be, muzzle loader, either sex, and then rifle, either sex. So there's 3 different categories in which you could apply for. And I think it's $12 per application. And you could do it as soon as you buy your license, and you just work with the guy that, at the counter. They will walk you right through it, and that's it. It's that easy. It gets sent right over. You don't have to do any sort of, like, for the out-of-state stuff, where you kind of have to go through filling out different forms or doing things online and worry about screwing it up. Pennsylvania does it right for you.
Yep. And you can also, I purchased my license online,
And you can do all that stuff online too, which is very easy. You can access the maps with the regions and all that stuff. So there's some great resources. Just go to Pennsylvania Game Commission's website and check all that out. You can create an account and do everything right online. So that's easy there. It's also license time here in New York. A lot of lifetime license holders, including myself, got their licenses in the mail this week. So you get everything. But our Doe Tag period opens up August 1st, and they will run that all the way up until, I believe, right up till the start of season to October 1st. You can apply for Doe Tags as long as they're available. And then they actually typically do a second draw for Doe Tags with anything that's remaining from the first round right around November 1st. So that's stuff for people, if it's as new to you, to be thinking about. August 1st is a big date here for us in New York for getting your first round of Doe Tags. So equipment stuff right now, I think this is really what I was going to talk about on my solo podcast, is the urgency I feel right now if you need stuff to get on it. So I guess the first thing we'll talk about, Jim, you're the archery guy in our little clique here. Let's talk a little bit about stuff you got to be thinking about if you are. The summer's going to fly by. I mean, we're all freaking swamped. So next thing you know, it's going to be middle of August. This next month is going to fly by. So what should people be thinking about right now when it comes to archery equipment?
Aside from practice, I would definitely, if you need broadheads, get them in the mail, because it's going to be several weeks for everybody, especially if you're going for like the big name stuff. Get your broadheads, like get your arrows, make sure that your broadheads and arrows are tuned and ready to go. Make sure your bow is sighted in if you made changes, or maybe got new strings or whatever you did in the off season in the wintertime, or maybe you need to just make sure your bow is in good working order. A lot of guys, most guys, I'd say, like, shoot their bow, and the last year that they shot is the last time that they shot it. They put it away and they don't really kind of double check it. You want to make sure everything's kind of, in good working order. So yeah, as far as the equipment goes, I would definitely get on. If you need supplies, you need to order it now in order to get it for season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing lead times on stuff. A lot of items that I'm needing for my elk hunt, I'm finding them very challenging to find. Stuff that I've used in the past, new gear that I want to buy. For example, I was interested. I did get it. I bought it from Amazon. I really did not want to buy it from Amazon, but it was the only place I could find that had availability, and they had, I think, 2 left in stock from whoever the company was that had the stuff for sale on Amazon. But I wanted a sleeping pad, a Nemo sleeping pad. And that thing was, I went to a local store that I wanted to purchase the pad from because I saw their Nemo dealer. They looked into it. They couldn't get it. They couldn't even order it. And any order they are to place now for any of Nemo's sleeping pad products is not going to be in until spring of 2022. So that kind of put me on alert. And I have kind of gone on a shopping spree over the last week to 2 weeks. And you and I talked about that this week together on the phone, is that my urgency level is like at 100. Like, if there's stuff I know I'm going to need for this September through December during hunting season, I'm buying it now, because it may take 4 to 6 weeks, if not longer, to get some of that stuff in. And I don't want to be trying to get my stuff packed and ready to go on September 1st for this elk hunt and be waiting on a key piece of equipment and gear for that trip. So I'm seeing it. And you and I talked about climbing sticks this week. You're looking to purchase, and you did purchase a set. You can explain that, but we were back and forth on what decision to make, and I think we both came to the same conclusion. But
yeah, so big Timber Ninja guys, you and Jeremy pointed me Jeremy from Antler Up, that you guys pointed me in the right direction. Timber Ninja is wonderful reviews. I've actually got to hold some of that product at the tethered teach and train that I was at. So I knew that it was good quality stuff. I was just on the fence whether I need to buy the carbon or the aluminum, because there's a substantial price difference. But we talked about, between the weight savings and the quietness of it, it's just, for an extra $100, carbon is the way to go. So I'm super happy with that purchase. I can't wait I should have it before my Delaware hunt in early September. So it's going to work out nicely.
Yep. And the big kicker there was that you were looking at the lead time of 4 to 7 weeks. And there's a huge demand for the Timber Ninja stuff right now. It's, Jason, it's a small business. It's limited run quantities. So, you got that lead time there. And your thought is, so my message to you, I was like, you could buy something else and still be wishing you had the Timber Ninjas, or you could just place the order and, just get it in. Because if every day that you wait is one day less likely that you're going to have it for your trip. And some of this stuff, if it is on back order, a lot of the websites, you can go on there and you can sign up on an email list so that you get notified as soon as that stuff's available, which I've done for a few things. It's just being aware of it. Summertime, I'm seeing it with our interactions with podcast downloads. I'm seeing it with myself. I've got more stuff going on. People are kind of tuned out and everybody's back to like quote unquote normal life and doing stuff and on the boat, on the water, at the lake, hiking, camping, whatever. Next thing you know, it's freaking season. So get your stuff, make your list, figure out what you need. And to come back around to the archery equipment or, just the archery side of things, a lot of people don't do their own archery technician work. I don't. I take my stuff to a local bow shop, and I stopped into the place that I go to that right here, Earth Spirits. I stopped in there the other day and just to shoot the shit with them, and heard how crazy it was for them last July, August, and September. They had multiple times that they were completely out of inventory, like literally not a single bow left on the shelf. They were having a hard time keeping up with people's requests and work and everything. So, I don't foresee this year being a whole lot different. I think people are really excited, new hunters to continue to flood into this, as well as people wanting to tune things and get more into depth of this. And their big message was that there's the majority of the stuff that they sold last year was new hunters. And so there's just going to be a lot of new people that, if you're used to showing up to your bow shop on the 25th of August or the 1st of September wanting to get your bow tuned up, you might be in a bad spot. So jump on that stuff now. Be the person that does it in July, and you've got your bow back by August, and you're ready to get yourself comfortable and ready for season to start. So
yeah, that's a great point. A lot of these local shops are going to be so backed up. Even if you go in, on a whim to just get a half dozen or a dozen arrows cut, they might tell you, come back, at the end of the week or something. They're getting full. They're getting full fast. So yeah, definitely don't wait.
Nope. All right. So we talked about, what the hell did we even talk about? We talked about gear, importance of buying stuff right now.
Tag.
We talked about tags.
Mm-hmm.
How about fitness, Jim? You getting shredded over there? Are you on the grind?
I actually am. You guys motivated me actually after the Total Archery Challenge, because the Total Archery Challenge reminded me of what poor shape that I really am in, specifically getting up and down the mountain. So I want to make sure that, and I'm tired of, last year wasn't so bad, but in previous years, I've had worse years where I'm trying to take a deer out of the woods, and it's just like, I feel like I'm going to go into cardiac arrest. So we're trying to get rid of that. So yeah, I've been hitting it hard. I know you've been hitting it probably twice as hard. You've always have hit it hard, but in more in particular this year, because you're going out for elk archery, right?
Yeah. And that became a definitive answer this week. I got my email from Colorado that I did not get one of the second round tags or the second draw tags, which I was glad about. I'm glad that they did it as quickly as they did. They had to have the application in by the 30th of June. By the 6th, I think 5th or 6th, I already knew that I was not going with my muzzleloader and that I could start focusing on going with my bow. So that was good clarity for myself there. But I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not getting as many workouts in right now as I like to. I'm exhausted. Kids are exhausting. Work is busy. It's hot. It's humid. So it's tough. Like this time of year is really hard to keep yourself focused on fitness and healthy eating and all that sort of stuff. But it's also very gratifying to get to the end of the week and feel like you had a good week, feel like you put in some good work and my wife is training for a race, half marathon, so that helps because she's getting motivated to do healthy things and to get after a training program. So with her being active and me being active, definitely makes it a lot easier for me to, get up at 4:30 in the morning and roll my ass out of bed. And I do snooze. I'm in an awful rut, dude. Like I was doing really probably for well over a year and a half. I was like 4:30 6 days a week. Alarm goes off. Like I would snooze a few times, but I'm up by 5 and I'm getting down to the gym, or I'm going for a run or a walk, or coming down here and doing work in the basement. And it's like I've been freaking struggling the last like month and a half, 2 months. And it's, you can make all kinds of excuses. At the end of the day, I just got to drag my ass out of bed. But I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like the only time I can find for me time that I'm worth a damn is between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. That's it.
Yeah,
Then,
that's fine. I start work pretty early. So yeah, that 4:30 to 5:30 window is super key for me. I've actually been doing most of and I don't have a gym membership or anything. Even though my wife works at an orthopedic office that has a gym and I can go there for free. I choose to do my workouts at home. I got a spin bike and a treadmill and free weights and things like that. So I've been trying to just hammer that out in the morning. And then before I go up to, help her with the little guy and breakfast and things like that. And then off to work and daycare and things. But yeah, finding that time, you got to make that time. That's all it comes down to. It's like you said, it's a mindset, and you're going to pay for it on the mountain if you don't.
Yeah, it's a mindset and it's a commitment. Like you gotta, like you said, you have to prioritize it. And it's funny because now here I am, I'm lecturing my dad because both my parents they're stressed out. They got high blood pressure because work is crazy right now, and they've just had several challenging years in a row at work. And here I am, lecturing my father, that he needs to prioritize himself and take care of himself. But I keep coming back to this quote that I had heard, and not whether it's a quote or just kind of like I guess it's not a quote, it's a metaphor, or it's not a metaphor. I don't know. I'm an idiot, Jim. I'm trying to think of what you'd want to call it. But anyway,
yeah.
It's if the reason all right, hold on. I'm just gonna go back. I am like babbling all over myself here. So what I was explaining to my dad is it's a silly thing, but when you're on an airplane, and I've heard this from somebody else, this is not my thing, but you're on an airplane that they train you. So, okay, there's an emergency, your oxygen mask drops down, you take care of yourself first, you put your mask on so you can help others. And I think a lot of other people, they put everybody else first because they think they're helping, but then their health goes to shit. They're not in a good place. And then next thing you know, they're the problem and everybody has to take care of them. I'm going to edit out my struggle to get to that point there, but I just nailed it. But like, there's so much to that, like if I'm not healthy, then I can't be everything for my wife and my kids and my immediate family and my job. I can't perform at my job if I'm not healthy. So I think there's a lot to that. And I think once you get into the routine of it, it's not hard to stay with it. But when you're in a rut or you've been out of it for years, like it's really tough to get back. And I think for me, the physical fitness portion of it is the most important thing as I'm getting ready for a hunting season, because I do hunt a physical way. Like I'm not just driving the 4-wheeler to a tree stand and sitting there and then getting on the 4-wheeler and going back. Like I'm kind of pushing it and working hard, and it wears you down. So,
yeah, no, it's all great points. Definitely.
Thanks, Jim.
I'm trying to think of what else that I did recently myself. I purchased some more camo. Naturally, every year I seem to find excuses to buy more camo and more clothing. But I haven't really done a full blown super early season hunt like this before. Usually in Pennsylvania, I start like mid to late September is like the earliest, but this would be like the first week in September. I'm going out in Delaware, so I needed some gear that kind of best fit that realm. And those weather patterns, and even the camo patterns, like a lot of stuff I have is like much darker and more browns and tones and things like that in it for fall and rut time. So purchase some new camo. Again, get that stuff in ASAP because lead times are insane and things are running out.
You bought some First Light gear, correct? Is that what
I
you got?
did, yeah. Become a first light guy 2 years ago, and I haven't looked back. It's something about just I know it's expensive, but take care of yourself. Upper quality, as I call it, like gear. To me, it's worth the extra expense. You're investing in yourself and in your hobby and your passion. So I've never been able to sit longer and quieter than I have before than putting some of that, higher quality gear on. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I was on the Sitka train. I still am on the Sitka train, but I did just buy a bunch of 4-low gear. I have everything now that they have minus their rain gear. I don't get a ton of use out of rain gear. I don't know why. And I have some Cabela's rain gear that works just fine. So I kind of have a hard time dumping a pile of money on stuff that I already have that I don't use a ton of, and when I need it, it works fine. But I just bought a bunch of stuff from 4-low that I'm looking forward to really putting to use up in the mountains in a couple months. And I am in the process. And this is the cool thing you and I were talking about. Like, you can sell this stuff. You buy the quality stuff, you can turn around and sell it. So I've already sold half of the items that I'm replacing with 4-low from my Sitka stuff. And I sold a couple of those items. I got $350 cash for 2 items, and I still have some stuff that I've got on Facebook Marketplace that, I've got tons of people kicking the tires. I know that at some point here I'll close the deal on it, but I'm going to basically just have bought all new gear and have not paid a penny for it. So, you buy some of this stuff, it truly is an investment because it holds its value. It's quality stuff that'll hold up. And, if you want to keep it, hold it, and have it forever, you probably can, So it's, buy this stuff, have the quality. You're gonna stay more comfortable. You're gonna stay out there longer and find more opportunity. So
There's a saying where you either buy nice or buy twice. Well, in this case, you could buy nice and still buy twice.
Right. Yeah. And it's, in a way, it's even different than, like a bow. You go buy a bow and you want to sell it and get the new one next year. Like, you're going to sell that thing at a pretty dramatic discount compared to what you paid for it. Whereas with this, it's like, if you buy some of this gear right, like you take advantage of sales, you take advantage of finding stuff that's on clearance or on Camel Fire, last year's model that they're trying to move. Once that first markdown is gone, and if you didn't pay list price for it, if you can find it at one of those discounts, freaking, then the markup's gone. It still is going to hold that $200 value. If it was a $250 product and you got a discount, it's still going to hold that $200 value. So yeah, I'm really excited to try out the especially the 4-low, the puffy, and the pants. I've worn the pants quite a bit since I got them. I'm very happy with them. They are like very flexible in temperature range, which you can wear them. So I'm excited about that, because
I was really intrigued on those pants that you got with the knee pads in them, just for saddle hunting. I have a set of the tethered knee pads that I use like when I go out, but if that could be a lighter option instead of strapping on actual knee pads, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how those pan out for you.
Yeah, they're a little bit thinner than the Sitka knee pads that are built into Sitka's pants. Both the pairs of, I think it's the Timberline and the Mountain Pant, both have removable knee pads on the Sitka stuff. These are not removable, but they're a little bit thinner, but they have like a felt outer on them. It's kind of like a very like a felt fleecy outer layer. So they're very quiet. I'm very impressed with how quiet the pants are, but I didn't think I'd enjoy having knee pads on my pants. And people can make all kinds of jokes about me that they want, but I really, you'd be surprised if you really pay attention to how much time you spend on your knees in the woods, whether it's processing a deer, it's getting gear out of your bag, getting set up, or just these weird positions you might get yourself in when you're climbing the tree, or even up while you're in the tree stand saddle hunting, and like being able to keep your knees dry or keep them off of the dirt and mud. It's a game changer. Like, I really enjoy having knee pads in my pants for hunting. So I have no issue with the fact that they're in there. And I know that that's something that Travis and Miranda and Ryan, when we were there at TAC, that they were saying how, they seem very firm and like they don't flex very well. But they said once you wear them a bit, they'll start to kind of mold in and you won't even notice they're there, and it's spot on. Like I've been wearing them pretty consistently for the last month and a half since we were at TAC, and they're almost, you don't even know they're there. You get very used to it.
Yep.
And they kind of stand out on the green pants. They're kind of very obvious that there's pads there, but I just bought the camo ones to go with everything that I just got. I bought a same pair of pants just in the camo version to have, and you don't even know that they're there just because they're the same color as the pant, so pretty cool.
Sweet. I was thinking, of one key topic that we didn't say is, scouting. Don't wait till the last minute to put some boots on the ground and get out there and check sign and check trail cameras or, whatever your preseason techniques are, but get after it.
Yeah, no, it's a great time of year to get out and get some cameras up, try to start getting some inventory. We've talked about it on here before, especially if you're hunting a woods scenario, even farmland, but especially in the woods, don't put too much money into what you're getting on camera. Don't fall in love with a spot or with a deer in particular because of what you see on a camera, because that stuff does change as you get velvet off, and you get hard horn and bucks start getting split up a little bit more, not hanging these big bachelor groups. But I hate going in the woods this time of year. I'll be honest with you. I just hate it because there's just fucking deer flies everywhere. Ticks are awful. It's just, you can't walk anywhere without bugs, and I hate that stuff. And it's hot, it's humid. I'd rather hang out with my wife and kids and dick around on the farm. Like, we're working on food plots a little bit here and there, but this is not the time of year I want to be in the woods. Like, this is the time of year that I'm focused on doing stuff with the family and having fun with that and scouting from afar. So that's why we've gotten in the routine of getting our cameras up and leaving them up. And we know what's going on. We don't have to go in there now and figure it out. But if you haven't, that doesn't mean you shouldn't. You should get out there and put that stuff up or do some walking. But that's why I love doing it in the winter time and in the up until late spring and leaf out before turkey season, because I hate being in the woods with all the creepy crawlies, man. It's just freaking, it's like, why bother? My wife's gonna be pissed at me anyway. I might as well just stay home and piss her off some more. I don't know.
Yeah. Now your elk spot, that's somewhere you've hunted that area before, right? So you don't have to worry about e-scouting or anything too much.
No. Yeah, I haven't really e-scouted that at all. I'm very, very confident in that area. Now, I mean, we could get up in there and it could be blown out, but we have some backup areas that we know that we can jump over passes into other drainages. And I'd have to imagine that if the elk aren't in one, they'll be in the other. And there, we're actually, because I'm going archery, I can jump over into any unit, and where we hunt our unit, it's pretty cool. From our base camp, I can hike and get up over a pass and into another unit. So as with where Brian and AJ, they're going to have their muzzleloader tags, they can't do that because they can't hunt the other unit. Sean and I, we can just hop over we're going to both have our bows, and he has a mule deer tag as well, but he's going to be out there early. So he's going to have his archery elk tag, and he's not going to take his muzzleloader from the sounds of it. Well, yeah, I don't know. He might keep it in the truck, but he's probably not going to pack it up in there. He's just going to go archery straight up. But him and I can bounce over into a completely different unit if we wanted to. Which is cool. So we haven't done a ton of e-scouting, but I'm glad you brought that up to come back around to the deer side of it here. One of the things I think people could work on right now that has been a huge tool to me is looking, especially if you're hunting public land, but even private's the same way, is stay out of the woods. Don't get bit by freaking mosquitoes and black flies and everything else. Stay at home, get your laptop out, crack a cold one, and get on whatever mapping service you use and look at your properties and figure out where the people, let's say you have private land, figure out where their houses are, mark their houses on your map so that you can see it, and you can change your layers, you can see topography, you can see vegetation, figure out if you already know where the deer move, or if you don't, look and see. That's something I've tried to do over the last few years, especially on some of the public land pieces, is take those bordering private land pieces, because a lot of the people that are going to hunt that public are going to be people that own bordering private property. So figure out, you can find satellite imagery to see exactly where their cabins are or houses and mark them. And then you can kind of figure out roughly how far where they're going to be. Are there going to be a bunch of people over here? And then there's going to be a section of the property that's going to have hardly nobody in it. Like, utilize that. And I think I may have talked about it on here, or maybe you and I have chatted about it, but it's like, I was doing some of that on a new piece of public that I'm looking to hunt potentially. And I did that. And then I went and put boots on the ground this winter. And it was like immediately I put a trail camera up. Within 2 days, I had a group of bucks hanging together. And it's like, they may not be there come deer season, but I'm like, this is exactly where I figured, based off of where all the cabins might be, that this might be an area that's kind of a little hidey hole. And here's where these deer are hanging during daylight, just feeding all winter long. So I think it's something that people should definitely take advantage of doing right now, is do your scouting right now. If you can, do a lot of it from the computer.
Yep, that's a good point. I don't know what else. I think we might have covered all the basics of what people should be doing right now in July.
Yeah. And let's circle around. Make your wife happy. Let's all focus in here, fellas. Okay, listen to me. She's number one right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this, and I'm gonna listen to this podcast to edit it, and I'm gonna listen to myself. She's number one. Whatever she wants to do. And I think it was probably Dan. I know you're a big Dan Staton fan. I probably heard this from him, is that he's like, I don't care. I think it was on the last week's episode. He's like, I don't care what the hell it is that she wants me to do with her. I'm going to act like I am the most excited that I could possibly be about doing it. And I need to listen to myself when I say that aloud, but I got to prioritize her, because if it wasn't for how good she is to me, like, this is a relationship, this is a partnership. And she lets me have a shitload of freedom from September to December. And I know it's a lot on her, especially with 2 kids. So I'm going to definitely try to be focusing on that over the next couple months to really make sure she and the kids are number one. And I'll just get up earlier and stay up later if I have to take care of myself. But that's the priority right now, fellas.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to copy and paste that on my end for sure. That's something I definitely need to do. She's the real MVP when it comes to hunting season. Every kill and every hour that I'm able to put in and put down is 100% because she allows me, and because she, handles the kid at home in the early mornings when I'm getting ready and getting going. And, we work all week long, and she's taking care of them and taking them to daycare and dealing with all that while I'm out in the woods. So, I mean, yeah, definitely. Ladies first, then hunting.
Yeah. And maybe if you do prioritize them, you might even get what we want, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's a winner. So it's summertime, everybody's looking hot. It's freaking great. So just focus on it. It's not hard.
This is like our pre-rut, like for the household, if you think about it.
Yeah.
We're kind of putting feelers out, maybe hitting a little scrape every now and then in the house, and just kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Tendon, doing some flexing in the mirror, seeing how things are looking,
Yeah.
And then it's at some point,
you start
to get hard horned. You start to smell something in the air, and you'll know it's time. Yep. All right, well, that's pretty good. That's a 40-minute discussion. That doesn't happen very often on here, so that's pretty solid. All right, I appreciate you jumping on here. It's a fun little quick chat, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And maybe he'll take a long nap, like I hope my kids are doing, and should be good.
Yeah, always a pleasure. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish my 6-pack of White Claws in your honor. So
sounds good, buddy.
See ya.
See ya. Fade 'em.